Welcome back. The temperatures are on the rise as summer is here, and especially right here locally, we're going to get very hot a little too early. So what can we do to make sure we keep our pets safe? Well, let's find out right now.
It's summer and everyone wants to be outside with their dogs, but it's hot. And when our best friends are chasing frisbees, balls, and running, they don't always know they're overheating. So how do we recognize the warning signs of exercise-induced heat-related illness? Joining us to discuss is Dr. Joe Spoo, a veterinarian with Eukanuba. Thank you so much, Dr. Spoo, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So what is heat-related illness in pets?
So you and I are very efficient at cooling down. We can be active on a hot sunny day and we sweat, we have airflow across our body, and all that helps to cool us down. Unfortunately, while our dogs are tremendous athletes, they're very inefficient at cooling because they just rely on their respiratory tract, or predominantly rely on panting. And it's not a super efficient way of getting rid of heat. When you add heat and humidity to the situation, it becomes even more inefficient. And so a dog that's outside playing on a hot, humid day has its body temperature continue to rise, and it gets to a critical point where we enter this zone of heat-related illness. And it starts with heat stress, it progresses to heat exhaustion, and unfortunately can end up in heat stroke, which can result in the death of our dogs.
Why is Eukanuba championing exertional heat-related illness?
So as the originators of working in performance dog nutrition, Eukanuba knows that people want to be engaged in these outdoor activities with their dogs. And so creating awareness of exertional heat-related illness is just a natural extension of that relationship.
How would someone recognize the warning signs in their dog?
So what you'll see in those early stages, so that heat stress kind of stage, is a dog that's trying to move a lot of air. So it's going to have a wide open mouth. It's going to be a roaring pant. So it's not that pant after a couple of retrieves of the frisbee or I'm happy to be outside. It's a roar trying to really kind of get that air moved and heat out of the body. The tongue is going to be longer than you've probably ever seen it. It'll be flat. And then with that wide open mouth, not swallowing a lot, with the dry mouth, they get a thick, ropey saliva. Not that drool when they're asking for a bite of sandwich, it's just a thick, ropey saliva. From there, we progress into heat exhaustion, and dogs will get what I tell owners is a help me look. And so they're no longer engaged in the activity that we're asking of them, and they're looking to you for help. And that's the time to shut things down and help them out. If we miss that, they can become unaware of their surroundings, they can begin to stumble, and they end up having a glassy look like nobody's home. From there, we progress into that heat stroke stage, which a dog can fully collapse with heat stroke. They can have seizures, they can develop vomit and diarrhea as those internal organs are affected, and unfortunately, some dogs can succumb to this condition.
Unfortunately, I've seen some of those signs in my dog in the past. So what are some ways that you can keep them cool while exercising and having fun?
I think the big thing is being aware of the situation you're putting your dog in. And so avoidance is going to be the best way to prevent this condition, because this is a condition that we create. We ask these guys to do things and they're going to do them as these loyal companions that they are. And so if it's a hot, humid day, that might not be the day that we get to go play ball or play fetch or go for a run. Where people get into trouble is on those days where it's been, 90 for a string of days and you wake up and it's 70 out and it feels cooler to us, but that humidity is still high, in that 80–90% range. That's a condition that can still be dangerous to those dogs. And so being aware of both the heat and the humidity is important. The other place that I'll see people get themselves into trouble is we take our dog out on the bike trail or on a walk on the road, and that black pavement really absorbs a lot of the sun's heat. And so that environment down where the dog is can be infinitely hotter than where it is where you're upright up in the cooling breeze. And so being aware of that situation we're putting the dog in, if it's going to be hot, going to be humid, we're just going to have to avoid it that day. And then on the days that it truly is cool, those are the days or the times to really get out there and enjoy your dog.
Such important information. How can we find out more?
You can visit us online at eukanuba.com, EUKANUBA.com/HRI for a plethora of information on the subject.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Joe Spoo, for this important conversation about heat-related illness within our pets and our dogs. We want to keep them safe and still have a great time with them this summer.
Thanks for having me.